It's early morning, just waiting for the first early practice to start. Just here at a very iconic corner. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get on with our next interview on Mountain Memories here on Manx Radio with Kawasaki K Options. Morning. Shh. With a TT record that's, well, is kind of understated, to be honest with you, and he's not finished yet. A brand new concept for John McGuinness for this year, a ride with the Bournemouth Kawasaki team. And John, I mean, at the end of last year, I spoke to you earlier on this year before all this coronavirus stuff, and you were kind of like, oh, and then you got this deal with Peter and the Bournemouth team. Fantastic to see. But this is all about mountain memories, and you have got so many. You've been coming over here for so long. We'll talk about Bournemouth Kawasaki a little bit later on. But tell me about your very, very first Isle of Man mountain memory.
Well, it'll be with my dad, 10-year-old. My dad was racing the Derby races on his TZ350G, and so we came across it. I think we were coming an old caravanette, we used to call it, old long wheelbase transit, bit gypsified old thing with the old wheel trims on the grill. I remember the chrome wheel trims on the grill. I remember my dad stuffing me and my brother under one of the seats so we could get on the ferry for free. So we smuggled ourselves across, and then off we went to Derby. And I've been to loads of races with my dad all over the place, with grass tracks and scrambles and one thing and another. So it's but going to there was special. I knew I was going to the Isle of Man. I knew I was going to see some of the TT. I knew I was going to see my dad race, and I'm sure. Well, I remember the Derby road races were. The Derby road races were on when TT practice was on, So it was so you could watch the racing and watch the practice with my dad, then go and watch some practice at the TT. And I don't know, my old fella just, son, 10-year-old, stuck my head through the ropes at bottom of Bray Hill, and on they came, everybody. Joey.
No, home, John. It's all right. Don't worry.
I was the trampoline's blowing. We've got some high winds here in a minute. The trampoline's blowing over. I'm getting torn the new backside by my 10-year-old daughter here. So, but yeah, early TT memories again. Back there, 10-year-old watching the practice, and it was really, really special. It was just mind blowing. It's like everybody's reaction when they first see a bike coming down the TT. I don't care who you are, if you're into playing tiddlywinks or you're a cross-dresser, it doesn't really matter. That is something that is really, really unique and really special. And that sort of cemented it in my head. I was like, I want to be a TT rider one day. And I was only 10, you're brand new, aren't you? But at some stage, I wanted to be. That was my dream. That was my passion. That I wanted to do. And I was doing some motocrossing at the time. But when I got old enough to ride road race bikes at 18, I was away, and that's where the journey began. But yeah, it was a long, long time ago. I suppose it was. My dad, I think, finished sixth as well on his 350 against I think Buddy Yardsley might have won it, a Manx fella.
Buddy Yardsley, great, yeah.
Buddy Yardsley, I think. There'd be Steve Moynihan. Gary Ratcliffe, Paul Hunt, and all that. My old fella, big fat old fella with his orange levers on his TZ350G was sixth, and I think he had a bit of a dice with a lad called Brian Lund or something, some Manx kid, and he was a Manx Grand Prix winner. And I remember that name was a long time ago. So,
It's 40 years ago.
It's unbelievable, and they are still they're still there, aren't they? Those. In the paddock, they have those glass greenhouses. They're still there, I think. And I remember the greenhouses and the paddock being in one place, and they used to run out, and the start line was down the big long straight at Derby. So,
that's right, yeah.
And then it went to that really narrow bit, and and it really, really bumpy. I remember that because I remember my dad's frame was cracked a few times, and they were wandering around the paddock. My dad and a couple of cronies, his mates, and I think the only people that had any welding apparatus was the good old sidecar boys. So they were brazing the frame up as the race meeting went along. But I mean, I sat with my feet over the bank through one of the chicanes where the paddock is as a kid, me and my brother, and it was amazing.
So that's the north of the island. We all love the Derby Road Circuit. I'm going to hope it's going to come back one day. But let's go to the mountain circuit. Let's go to that 37 and 3/4 miles. You've won 23 times. It's not over for you on that, is it? There's still a few things to tick on. There's still a few people who are on the internet all the time giving you grief about it. Oh, that's it. It's too old and all this. What did William Joseph Dunlop do at your age around there?
Well, I won 3, and I was his teammate. Yeah, so special times, and jumped off a super bike onto a 125, then on a 250. You know, you can't say anything else, but you know, royalty on motorcycles. You know, I was a 250 British champion. I was the 250 lap record holder. I sat off number 4. He was number 3 in the 250 race. I thought, I'll catch this old boy. Nope. He showed us a clean pair of heels there, but yeah, he can still do it. Bruce is really, really fast, you know. I mean, Bruce is a bit of an enigma. We all know that. We don't know how old he is. We don't know how old he is at all. I mean, I think his age starts with a 5 now. But I think at 49, he was right at the sharp end of the Ulster Grand Prix, wasn't he? Podiums everywhere, TTs. You know, you can still do it if you've still got the passion, the drive, the eyesight, the health, the team. Yeah, and again, you know, I'm really in a lucky position because it's all sort of lined up again for me. You know, I've got a great package, real nice team. You know, I like the team. I just like the way they go around about it. You know, it's a family-run thing. There's no egos. They're doing it because they love it. Come from a weird place, though, Bournemouth. That's just too far away, isn't it? It's a long way away.
He drove up to see you.
Yeah, just about to say. You know, I had a couple of options for this year, and I didn't really know what to do. You know, I was sort of coming an hour in and didn't really, nothing really jumped out. But when, you know, sort of James went and did the deal with OMG, it sort of opened the door, and Pete rang me, and I hadn't really spoken to Pete a lot. I just watched him from the outside, and I know he runs a great team. 60 starts, 57 finishes. You know, the record itself speaks for itself. The reliability thing, which is a big thing for me at the TT. And he said, "Oh, I'll have a run up. And see you. You know, Bournemouth to Morecambe, 5 hours." There was me, Becky, Maisie, and you sat in the front room. There was you know, Pete and his wife, and I said, "Look, my cards are on the table. This is me. This is my family. What you see is what you get," type thing. And it was nice vibe. No contracts, just shook hands, and you know, it's the ball was rolling, and the relationship kicked off on a great footing. And unfortunately, that's where it sort of ended at the minute. But I spoke to him quite a bit, and he's pulling his hair out like we all are. You know, we're all scratching our heads of what's going to happen in the future. But he says, whatever happens, the bike's there for you. So frustrating time.
First time at the TT on a Kawasaki as well. I mean, when you said it, I went, "Oh, that is right," because we talked about it, didn't we, a while ago? And we said, "Oh, the last time you're on a Kawasaki was at the Ulster Grand Prix." Didn't do too bad there, did it?
Yeah, we was right at the sharp end. Yeah, the Ulster Grand Prix for me in 2004 was only my second year there. I went there once with one bike and only did one race on a little R6 Yamaha and did okay. And then I was sort of, it's funny, 04 was a great year for me, but it started off with nothing. I had a one deal with Yamaha, and it was a handshake with Andy Smith from Yamaha to do the TT. And that was it. And we did the TT. We won 3, and all of a sudden, I was sort of 0 to hero, if you like. You know, there was not a lot going on, and all of a sudden, I was there, right? You know, front cover of the MCN, and then it was Glenn Richards got injured at Thruxton, and the Kawasaki came available. Jumped on it and was on the podium first time at Brands Hatch in the wet behind John Reynolds and Sean Emmett, I think, or Rutter or somebody. And then, yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the team. I enjoyed the bike. We went and did the Scarborough Gold Cup on it. We did Stars of Dali. We did the Ulster Grand Prix. But, yeah, on the roads, the bike was good. You know, I finished second by about half a wheel to Bruce Anstey in the Superbike race. So it was a good old dust up with Brucey, and I was buzzing. It was great. And then, it went in a different direction again in 2005 with the Yamahas, and then obviously Honda in 6. But yeah, I mean, my career started. I hate that word, career. My love of racing. It's a funny word, isn't it? My journey, I suppose.
Your job.
Road race.
Yeah,
it is a job, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not a career, it's like it's a pop star or something, it's not about. My journey started 30 years ago this year. It's my 30th anniversary of racing, 1990, Aintree Kawasaki KR1S. So 2-stroke. My dad, hire van, Mrs. Off we went, club racing, and 30 years later we're back.
Do you remember that
Kawasaki,
race?
so.
Do you remember that first race?
I do. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I went in 18-year-old, Jack the lad. I was fastest I used to be fastest on the road to Shovel Inn or whatever it was, or Redwell pub, and jeans and trainers on, I was a lunatic. Some of them are my dad's friends said, look, get him on the track for God's sake, and best thing he did. But I went there expecting to do good, and I was 29th and 31st or something, I got beat by 2 chicks and all, which one was a lass called Kate Parkinson, who was a TT rider.
Yeah,
Kate
250.
beat me. Yeah. And a lass called Liz Skinner.
Oh, yeah, Liz Skinner, know that name, yeah.
She beat me. And I think she's done a Manx as well. I'm sure she was married to Eddie Roberts.
I think they've both competed on the mountain course. Let's go back to the mountain course. Let's go back to the debut, 96, on that Paul Bird bike, wasn't it? The one you've redone up again. I mean, you fitted into the leathers quite well the other year, by the way. But yeah, it's a cracking, lovely machine, because I love me 2-strokes, as you know, beautiful. And just think back to that, getting to the Isle of Man, basically with nothing.
Yeah, I mean, I remember I had a 7.5 tonner truck. That's all I had to my name. I lived on Becky's sofa with her parents, and had this new bike in my hands, really, that Paul Bird provided. Paul wanted 10 grand off me, and I said, yeah, I'll get 10 grand on that. And I didn't have 10 quid. So I was like, I used to work it off delivering chickens and doing all sorts of stuff. But and it was I was like that. I was like, I'd done the Northwest in 94, 95, wanted to do the TT, but I was on my backside, never had anything, do you know what I mean? And I had my teaser and it was worn out, and I thought, I don't want to go to TT on something that's not reliable and safe. And when I got this new Honda with Birdie, and it was funny, I was at the Northwest a couple of weeks before, and I'm like, I'm at the front, Joey's there, McCallan's there, Robert Dunlop's here, Dennis McCulloch, Gary Dines, Wolsey Coulter, I'm like Robin Milton, all these top doers, and all of a sudden I'm in the leading slipstream thing. I finished 4th, and I made a real last minute decision to do it. Yeah, and I got 350 quid off the Mike Aylward Foundation. Can't remember who was in charge then. A bloke called Mike Ball, I think he was called, and he gave me an entry. He was like, it's an honour to have a TT entry and all that. So I was like, oh, great, and off we went. And maybe 7.5 ton. I slept in the back of it. And I remember my first lap, though. David Jeffers was there as a newcomer. Bruce Anstey was there as a newcomer. Even Paul Owen, a lot of TTs, Paul. Didn't quite just get there, but good old goer was Paul. And, we're all there on the start line Monday morning. Misty. I think it was misty, raining, dry, sunny, windy, foggy. I think it were 4 seasons. It were 4 seasons in one lap.
But no newcomers lap like now, was there?
No. I can't remember. I'm not sure. We might have done a lap, maybe a lap with Philip McCallan, but that was not much use really. It was flat out through here, flat out. I'm like, but I'd watched the videos. I'd done the laps. I'd been there on my teaser R125 Yamaha when I was 17. I'd been there on my KO&S that I started racing on. So I'd done the laps, I'd done the homework, I knew what was coming up, I knew it was left or right, like you say, no riding liaison officers, no Milkies, no Johnny Bartons, it was, I got the chalkboard on the start line, it was like, damp here, miss here, and tap on the shoulder.
Yeah, you've got that now, haven't you? You've got that in your head, the person who holds the board like that, you've got that in your head, haven't you?
Yeah. It's digital now.
Oh,
digital
yeah,
now.
yeah.
You got a red one, but then it was a chalkboard.
Shortboard. When it rained, it all ran off.
Last walk you going, she's like, I'm like, I mean, it was. I'll never forget the two riders that sat in front of me. One was Lee Pullen and one was Mick Lofthouse as well. And because I wanted to go with Mick because he was on a 125, so I thought if I can hang on to him a little bit and learn a little bit, but them two were gone. Pullen had a black visor on a slick back tyre, and I was like, am I missing something here? But it was a morning practice, and it was a bad year, '96 for weather. Practice week was really bad. I didn't get a lot of practice, but the rating when we lost Mick Lofthouse on the Friday morning and the Kiwi rider Rob Holden.
Yeah.
It was a bit somber, and I was like, what am I doing? And Mick Lofthouse's dad says, look, get on the bike, get on with it, old Arthur. And when the race came, it was beautiful. The weather was beautiful. Joey won. I was 15th. Got a bronze replica. And then,
where is that bronze replica? Where's the bronze replica? Have you still got it? Somewhere in the house.
Oh yeah. No, it's. All my reps are together. About 100. Probably about 113, I think, replicas in total. So a lot of fastest lap ones. And 94 starts at the TT.
I know, it's bonkers.
Yeah, it's classic TT. So yeah, it's a few into it. But yeah, no, I got my bronze replica and
up on stage with the blue blazers.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Max Natteranthem and all funny handshakes and all that, But it, it was at the Villa, I think. Then it went to the Summerland for a bit and it came back. But it was, I can remember it, I remember it. And I sort of wish I'd had another bike, I only had one bike, you see. It's 250, so I could only go out in certain sessions and maybe could have done with a 600 or something like that as well. But it was, I dipped my toe in. Bittersweet, really. Tough time through practice and then awesome. And no pit boards, no real pressure, no.
You got moved up on the start from memory, if it right? Didn't
I
you?
did. I was 71 in practice.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I was 71 in practice, and ended up about 11th in practice overall. I did about 100, just short of 110, 109.9 or something. But no, we didn't get much dry time. I only got one lap or two in the dry, and then they moved me to number 18. So. I was, I think 17 was Lee Pullen and 19 was Noel Clegg behind me.
Cleggy.
On the start line. Yeah, Noel Clegg was 19. Becky were in the pits, clean screen. Birdie was sticking a fuel in. It was, it was good. It was good, don't get me wrong. It was everything that I'd expected. It was everything that I'd read about the understanding, somebody to actually to make the journey to get there, to get your international license to do it. There's a lot of people talk about it, and there's a lot of people in the pub make noises about doing it. But there isn't a lot of people that actually get on the start line to do it. So. And
to get 3 years later to get that win, to get hold of one of those silver ladies, number one on the list. I mean, explain what that felt like when you're going down to that last lap. Explain the last lap of that TT lightweight race 250.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, and it's a little bit. You think you're there, but you're not. You've still got quite a bit to do. I think I might have been. I can't remember. It was about 28, 30 seconds in front, so it was mine to lose. So because I'd read this. Listen to riders, and it's funny. Some riders just spin you a bit of a yarn, and you think that's not quite true. But you figure it out. And I thought, well, let's not rev the bike. Let's make sure we're precise on the downshift. Let's make sure we're not hard on the the gearbox, the clutch, and some Aaron Ramsey hairpin on 250. You got to slip the clutch. And I thought I'll just leave the clutch and let it just pull away. And again, the weather was awesome. I broke the 250 lap record on lap 2, slowing down for pits that Ian Locker had for a long time, for 9 years. And I was in a lucky position where I'd got a barrier, safety barrier. And I've crossed the line. It was a bit weird. I look back and I watched my interview on the telly and I'm so embarrassed by it. I just waffled a lot of rubbish and I didn't know what to say. It was like, it was a bit like a big... You know what I mean? A bit, not anticlimax, but half of me wanted me to do a nude streak, another half, well, I didn't really know what to do. You know? Well, we partied. When everything wound down, we had a huge party on that night. We went mad and ended up in it used to be something before, it was Colours, wasn't it? It used to be Colours and then Toffs and upstairs. He went upstairs a bit later, I think.
Yeah. Upstairs.
We're up there. We were all leathered, usual. Like, you don't really see it that much anymore. It's not just quite the correct thing to do, but in them days, it was just a huge rev up, and it was really, really good. I got to win my first TT. I was on the best bike. I know you still got to ride the things and you still got to steer them, but my bike was awesome. I was, I don't like blowing my own trumpet because you just sounded bad, but I was riding good. I was leading the British Championship. I won in Daytona. I was riding 500s as well in various meetings, and things were really, really going well. 99 was the turning year that I was making a few quid, if you like, and winning races and turning professional, if you like. It was,
put the brick lane trowel away.
Yeah, that TSR 250, the engine in it, the preparation, it was the best. And I remember going down Bray Hill, and like I said, done my first TT in 96. 97 I was on the podium, did the fastest lap of the race. It was a bit under the radar. Gary Dines was actually going to be third, and I had no pit boards, and I was going around, and he waved me into the winner's enclosure in 97. I was like, what? And I did 116.8 on the last lap and nicked the last podium from Gary, who'd had a gearbox problem. And 98 was a washout with that 2-lap 250 race, and weather was awful. 99, it was like now or never, Johnny boy. When it got my braille, it was carbureting right. So it went through, but I was like, well, if you don't win on this thing,
you need to have yourself. I mean, you've won on the 250, you've won on the single. You've won on the big bikes. You won on the 600. You've won on the classic bikes around the mountain course. In what? Sorry.
400.
The 400. The 400 125 race as well. But you got to think back. I mean, like you just said about Joey jumping from the 125 to the big bike and stuff. None of these boys today have any of that, do they? All they have to worry about is the 600. I know there's a speed differential 600 the big bike, but they don't have them complications in the head. Go from 125 to like a single to like a 600, and then a big bike as it was then. There's lots of things.
Well, there were production 600, Super Sport 600. You'd be a 400. You'd be a 125, a 215. It was hard, but it was the thing you did. You didn't know any different. There were no laptops. You come across start and finish, and you'd hear all 250, top 250 boys and 125 riders plug chop them across the line. They'd be pushing them back up, with that chestnut paling at the side, and the early fence this thing. They'd push them back up and check the carburation, and I've got my gearing right, and you'd be looking at, your barometers with what air temperature was, and the air density, and wind's changed direction. We're going to have a headwind going at the mountain mile. Do I put another tooth on the back sprocket and stuff? But it made you think a bit more. Well, did it or didn't it? I don't know. It was just different. You do think the modern bikes are difficult. There's a lot of gear position sensors and lots of different functions and modes and maps and things, and it's just the same as a two-stroke, really, I suppose. But every time you rode them 250s, heads are off, cylinders are off. Pistons were checked, this were checked, gears are checked, clutches was worn out. Just quite a difficult little thing to run, but really satisfying. They were really quite a special thing to run. But I mean, I just can't imagine me now jumping off my super bike, jumping on a 125. It wouldn't happen.
Bonkers.
It couldn't. I'm too heavy. I raced a 125 at the TT in 97 and 98, and we could sit here forever. And talk about it, that my 125 broke down the first lap and it misfired all the way to Glentrammon, and it just about stopped, but the battery terminal had broken, and I got a penny off a Marshall and took the side of the bodywork off, and they had a dead loss power valve. I'm waffling on a bit now, but they had a dead loss power valve with a battery pack on it, and we didn't know whether we needed it or not. We were going to change it in the pit stop, so we had a fresh battery, but the battery terminal broke on the original battery, so I changed the battery myself at Glentrammon with a Marshall, put my helmet back on and set off. I finished 12th and got a bronze replica, but when you look at it in the Roma replicas, everyone tells a story, and you go, 12th in that race, and you go, So that's a bad result. You know, you think, but then you've unfold the story. I had my helmet off, I checked. I did 106 mile an hour on the last lap, which was a good, strong time at the time. If I'd done 406 mile an hour laps, I'd have been in top 5. But yeah, you know, but Joey just, I mean, he was a little fellow with Joey. You know, wrestled that SP1. And hey, listen, that SP1 was not a good bike. You know, that there were, it was a lump. It was a lump. And quite a difficult thing. Didn't rev it, you know, it was heavy. It was, and, you know, Joey commanded the Iron Slide sort of engine, and rightly so. You know, he deserved it, and he delivered. But then, you know, Saturday was done. The Honda leathers are off. He's back on his little one dinger that he's prepared himself. You know, he's put the jets in it. He's put the needle position in. You know, he's prepared the cylinder, the head, and everything. And away he won a 125.
That's what he did, wasn't it? And as you say, he knew no different, did he? He knew no different. Let's move to the modern era. Obviously, you know, the TT from 2007 onwards. I mean, fantastic. The centenary of the TT. Some little short ball bloke shouting in your ear, "It's over 130 mile an hour!" And I remember reading an interview that you did. I could hear Chris Kinley shout, "He's done over 130 mile an hour!" And it's like bonkers. That there was special. I mean, I've been down 20 years now, and that was the massive reception when that happened. It was like, I think I equated it. You're going to hate me for saying this. I know you said it before. Like somebody scoring the winning goal for me, football at Anfield, you know, whatever. But it was like that. The whole grandstand just cheered, and you could hear it over all the other noise.
Yeah. Well, you switch your bike off, and you know, I'm having a little bit of a drink. Our new tyres going in. We've got 24 litres of fuel to get in. You know, it's, you know, the job's not done, you know, for me. But I can hear the reaction from the grandstand. The reaction on lap 3 was special all the way around the whole of the thing, because whole of the lap, because, you know, people have witnessed a milestone. And I was a spectator when Hickey did the 135. I was a spectator, and I felt the same. I was like, you know, the atmosphere and the speed was unbelievable. To be sat on the bike, it was surreal, really. You know, it was really, really, really cool. But I really had to still concentrate. I still had to. For me, winning the race would have, you know, if I'd have done 132 mile an hour, I broke down on lap 6, I'd be so upset, you know, because it's all about winning. Lap speed for a spectator, maybe. I have a lot of conversations about that with spectators or fans, and they say, "Oh, I watched you do the first 130." They never say, "Well done for winning the race." It's never. Oh, the 130. So I'm like, yeah. You know. I got a pat on the back for the 130. I got a trophy and a few bob for winning the race. And I'm in the record book forever. But I mean, what a day! You know, my dad was there, my mum was there, Murray Walker was there. You know, I'd beaten Guy Martin. There was loads of stories that, you know, Guy duffed me up at Northwest, and you know, I got sort of, I was faster at Northwest, but got beaten up, and you know, but I always had a bigger fish to fry, and for me, it was the TT. And
that was at McAvoy, wasn't it? And he kind of went on straight on the McAvoy. Yeah.
Don't get me wrong; it was probably me being a bit, you know, I probably could have got in, but the ifs and buts in racing, you know. I mean, Plater, you'd have had to be meteoric ride to beat him, because it was mental, as simple as that. Well, he was. You know, he was prepared to go to the other level to win. You know, I never was. You know, I thought, well, do you know what? You know, fair play, but it was sometimes a bit too much. But he'll never ever drop his guard with that. You know, he'll always stand on. But you know, I had eyes on the other prize. You know, and Guy came across to me after winning the senior, and it meant a lot to me. A lot of things I remember about it. One of them was shook my hand, and you know, he said, "Oh, what you doing? Are you going to go and polish your motorhome on Monday?" He said that in the press, you know, and that really, really went deep. And he was 25-year-old at the time when he said that. When I was 25-year-old on a Monday morning, I was in a trench laying blocks. Contrary to what people believe, I used to go to work.
A bricklayer.
I didn't go turn professional until I was 27, 28. So I did, you know, worked hard until that point, but it's just yesterday's news and we all laugh about it. But yeah, that 07 year was good. I was on the podium of every race. Every single race I competed, we finished them all. Testament to the bikes, testament to the team. The weather was good and just awesome. You know, I couldn't have asked for anything else. You know, I felt safe, I felt good. I was just in a real good, happy place. And
the final question is going to be this one to you. When it's all over and you're sat with your feet up, your cup of tea, and you've got your chocolate hobnob in one hand and the grandkids are running around and stuff.
Nobody brought me a cup of tea.
I know, they're terrible. I had to make my own as well. Is there going to be something in your head, Isle of Man, TT related, that's going to always stick out in your mind?
That was a curveball, boy.
It's about memories.
It's really, really hard to pick one out. So hard to pick one out. I think that there's a lot of things. The relief on Becky's face when I come in, things like that really stick in my head. Things stick in my head for the wrong reasons. But I don't know, that last, those, like the shut the visor, have a look across at the grandstand at the kids and the missus, and away you go. They are special moments. But I just hope that I love that. I love some of the after things. When you've got off your bike, their memories are quite cool. Your fans, your spectators, your guy who's not a bucket list thing. The bucket list is different, but somebody who's really wanted to go to the Isle of Man, and they might have watched your career for years and years, and when they say thanks for the memories, they say thank you to me for their memories, is actually quite a thing I always remember, And, I mean, don't get me wrong, that when you're on a bike, it's that intense, it's that fast, it's hard to enjoy, You just like doing a dot to dot. It's just and you think, and a couple of times you're like, you're looking at your boards, you look at this sector, and it's just physical and hard. But when you're releasing afterwards, they're normally the good memories if you've won.